Tonight's guests are Ron Morehead, Darrell Denton, and Stan Shumlick.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. We're looking for answers. Oh, what a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night, looking down the
Now, we're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with Monster Quest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now.
This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello.
80 who? How are you, Jeff?
Good. Hectic
is-
day, but here we are.
How is everybody in chat and
Good to see everybody out
live
there.
audience? Yeah. Thanks for coming, everybody.
We sure appreciate it.
So let's see here. What do we got? So anyhow, if you're new here, welcome to the Untold Radio family. If you're not, it's good to see you back. We had a little mic issue here a few minutes ago.
No, it
Just
never
doesn't it
ends.
just drive you crazy?
I had it all set up.
It's software. It's
yeah.
all software. Last minute updates. Since I sat down, I've gotten 2 updates on my Mac. 2 of them. Like,
It's ridiculous.
Oh, and then all of a sudden, no, it just confirmed my password. Why should I have to confirm my password? I'm in my computer.
It never ends.
It's insanity. So anyhow, tonight we've got a really extra special live
Oh
broadcast.
man, heck yeah! Got some great guests tonight.
Yeah. And so this is going to be one of those nights, hopefully, that we end up talking about a little bit for a long time.
Yeah.
We have a true legend, Ron Morehead. He is the curator of the Sierra Sound recordings from 1971. God, that was a long time ago. And then he'll be joined by 2 other legendary guests, Darrell Denton and Stan. I'm not sure how to pronounce Stan's name. I know Stan a little bit. I think it's Schumlick, but it might be Shumlick. Is it or We'll have to ask Stan.
I've got a really cool clip from Ron too to share later. So
cool.
He sent me a really good one. So
Oh, good.
I'm looking forward to that.
All right. And then we've got a full night ahead. We've got trivia, clip picks, weird, fast, nude. Did I say nude? Weird.
You
fast,
did.
Nude.
Let's not
Nude.
do the weird fast nude.
Oh my God, what's on my mind?
I don't want to know.
I don't either. And then we have the weird fact of the week. And then we've got a really cool Christmas gift idea and a tech breakdown, which I think once I kind of spell out how you can use it, a lot of people are going to want it.
Yeah.
But everything about tonight and normally is about science.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's what I like to talk about. I know it's like, it's what you like to talk about.
Sure is.
But everything is about just curious. And we have curious people in our audience.
Absolutely.
I do this show because I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't do it for money.
I want to know
Trust me.
everything. Yeah. No one's getting rich doing
It's
this.
just, it's why we're here. I mean,
Yeah.
literally every Sunday night we explore science, the strange, and things that live just beyond kind of the edge, right?
Yep.
And so that is definitely our mission statement. If anybody thinks different, it's not. And everybody in the Untold Radio Network, that is their mission.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we can just flip a switch once in a while in somebody's head, that's what it's all about. So,
Yeah.
all right. So everybody go grab a blanket, get something warm on, because it's below zero tonight, Jeff?
Yeah, it's been cold all weekend.
I know maybe it's warming up finally, but it was below zero today. It was terrible. And so go get something warm on, pour some hot beverage, turn those lights down. Let's get comfortable and let's begin.
Did you want to play your video first?
No. That's for way after. We'll do that.
Okay.
After the ending video, the outro, it'll be after
Gotcha.
that.
Well, we got a cool video on deck.
So if you want to hang around, you can hang around after. It's just a little, 3 minutes?
Yep.
If you want to, you can. Otherwise, when we sign off, you can just leave.
Gotcha.
So, all right, let's go ahead.
Is it time for some weird and fast news?
Weird and fast nude, like I said before.
There'll be no nudity.
No, I guarantee it.
Here we go.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
All right. So, first story is about a new mystery deep sea squid that does he goes upside down to try to look like a plant. He buries his body in the dirt, put his tentacles up to look like a plant. It says in the article, what is that, cosplay?
Yeah. Yeah, squid cosplay, yeah.
Yeah. So scientists filmed what appears to be an unknown species of deep sea squid doing something nobody's ever documented before, burying itself upside down in the seafloor. So its arms, tentacles stick upward like some kind of seabed plant. And the footage came from Clarion Clipperton Zone in the Pacific. And this was collected during research connected to understanding deep ocean ecosystems. So there you go.
Pretty cool.
All right, next we have, hold on, what we have is Doug's wonky computer.
It's updating still.
Everything's wonky. All right, so number 2 is ghost particles from the sun were caught doing something really weird called an atomic flip underground Earth. So I'll tell you what this atomic flip is. I've never heard of this. Oxford-led researchers announced a breakthrough detection involving solar neutrinos, also called ghost particles, that pass through almost everything, including Jeff. Right,
They're
Jeff?
passing to me right
you
now.
can feel them.
Yeah.
I
There goes
do.
one right there.
They kind of tingle when they go through you,
Yeah.
especially if you're nude.
Mm-hmm. Always wear pants when you're dealing with neutrinos.
Yes, always wear pants when you're doing a podcast.
Safety
Okay.
tip.
Anyhow, using this something called the SNO detector. It's a deep underground snow lab in Canada. And they report observing rare interactions between where neutrinos trigger an atomic transformation of carbon-13 converting to nitrogen-13, an exceptionally faint event that's hard to spot because neutrinos are famous for being slippery.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was such a thing as a slippery neutrino. I thought they were all
Me neither.
slippery.
Well, I think they don't stick around very long.
You know, they can
So,
shoot a neutrino in Ohio and catch it in Minnesota at that Fermi lab up there in
Yep.
Tower. That's
Pretty wild.
Crazy. Just think about that. That is slippery.
Yeah.
So anyhow, but I've never heard it called that. What makes it weird is the whole thing's like catching a cosmic whisper by watching two tiny flashes of light separated by minutes deep underground. So there you go.
Crazy.
And they do it underground deep because it shields apparently any
Right.
interference.
Blocks everything else
right?
from coming through. Yeah.
Right.
Blocks all the bigger particles from getting in the way.
Yep. And it's too cold down there to be nude.
And they're probably wearing pants down there.
Probably. Next, another, I know you guys are going to groan, another little blip of news on the interstellar object here. I'm trying to scroll up to this interstellar. There we go. This 3-eye atlas. So now Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb recently sparked buzz again by claiming that the interstellar object 3-eye atlas, the third known visitor from beyond our solar system, shows a repeating brightness pulse. He likens it to a heartbeat. Loeb suggests this unusual periodic signal might be caused by active jets or even non-natural propulsion mechanisms, a feature that he says could be consistent with technology rather than natural physics. That is a little weird that it's pulsing.
Yeah, I still am in the camp that I don't think there's anything about it that's unexplainable. It's odd, unusual, rare phenomenon, but it's just, I think it's natural. It's just a rare object.
Jeff, by the way, is the Carl Sagan of the UFO world.
I don't know about that, but
it's taken Carl's place. Next, we have a really weird octopus, a 7-legged octopus. Once again, a very rare deep sea octopus. God, we know nothing about the oceans, do we?
Yeah, no kidding.
Formerly known as a septopus, right? That makes sense. Septopus 7, because of its 7 visible arms, and it was found stranded on a beach in Scotland by a local walker. They were probably walking in the nude. That's my guess.
That must be it.
Stunning marine biologists at first glance. People assumed it was a giant squid, but experts soon confirmed it was a deep water octopus species with one arm tucked away. Male octopuses have a hidden reproductive arm. I'm not going to say it. Hectococylus.
Hectocotylus.
Come on, you got to say it a little better than that.
Hectocotylus. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they have their reproductive organ is in one of the arms.
Yes.
It's kind of,
which is okay. It's anyhow. It says this is hard to spot, and this kind of sighting is exceptionally unusual, with only a handful of live septopus sightings worldwide over the past 4 decades. So I was going to say specimen. Oh my God. The specimen is now preserved for further study and is likely to end up in a museum, probably in your basement, Jeff.
That'd be cool. I'd have that in the shelf. Why not?
And then a defense scoop report says UAP-related provisions made it into the fiscal year of 2026. So apparently they've financed disclosure. That kind of sounds interesting. The National Defense Authorization Act discussions included language that would affect how the Pentagon UAP Office, AARO, briefs Congress, specifically pressing for more information about military intercepts, in quotes. You know what that means, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Earth to Jeff?
Yeah, I'm here.
Intercept. Yeah, I said, you know what that means?
What?
I just said they want more information about military intercepts around North America, intercepting UFOs.
Right. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
I did what you're getting at there. Yeah.
I know, but they didn't say intercepting UFOs. They just kind of sneak that language in.
Gotcha.
There. Intercepts. They probably
maybe it's finally time, man. Who knows? Maybe it's finally time to get some answers.
So that means if they're intercepting them, they're capturing them or shooting them down, is my guess. It doesn't sound like a good plan. What could go wrong?
Yeah,
it said this is not, blurry video. It's policy pressure Lawmakers basically asking for clearer accounting, better briefings, and more transparency around incidents that prompted intercepts and concerns. Intercepts, I love that. Next,
moving on.
and we have something, there we go. New crystals with apparently twisting spins could boost data storage. There's our future CD or DVD,
Yeah.
Jeff. That's what it'll look like. Be a crystal. Wasn't that in Star Trek where they'd put a crystal like in a thing to read it?
Yeah, I
In some
can't
movie,
remember
I-
specifically. That's a lot of sci-fi has used crystals for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's starting to come true.
Yeah.
Florida State University researchers reported a new crystalline material with unusual magnetic behavior, described as twisting, swirling magnetic patterns that could matter for future. God, I can't talk today. Future data storage and quantum technology pathways. The work is being framed as exploring chemical boundaries to create magnetic structures that behave in uncommon ways, but useful ways. For a quick, let's see here. No. It says the magnetism isn't just north and south. It can form from exotic textures like microscopic magnetic weather systems. That's really weird.
Yeah. In a crystal. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can store a lot of data in something like that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and then they add, if these patterns can be controlled and stabilized, they hint at a denser information storage or new kind of device that treats magnetic structures like a feature, not a nuisance.
Interesting.
There you go.
That's cool.
That's it for Weird and Fast.
Weird and fast.
Weird
Now
and
it's time
Fast news in the nude. Sorry.
No, it's a weird fact of the week with pants on.
That's real weird.
Here we go.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
Cheers, Jeff, to my root beer.
Salute. I got water.
Oh, okay. Throw
Weird
that
fact
bad-
of the
Throw
week.
that sideshow up. There we go. Weird fact of the week, two-headed tortoises. Okay, you think, well, it's a birth defect. Well, some tortoises, apparently there's quite a few of them, are born with two fully formed heads. And in rare cases, both heads have their own personality, which is, I think, the same with people, right? When they're born with two heads.
I would think so, yeah.
I swear to God, my daughter had a substitute teacher at times with two heads.
Oh, yeah. Those gals are pretty famous. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I was just like, okay. It says both heads will have their own personalities, their own appetites, and even preferred directions. This condition is called polycephaly. It happens when a single embryo splits during development. It says apparently it doesn't quite finish the job. Here's when it gets weird. The two heads can argue. One head might try to eat while the other one wants to sleep. One may pull the body left while the other wants to pull right. In captivity, keepers have observed one head becoming dominant, sometimes even refusing to let the other one eat. Despite sharing the same body, each brain controls its own side. So that's got to be tough.
Wow, yeah.
It's kind of like me and you.
Sure. Constant negotiation.
Yeah, it's just constant. Oh,
I tell you when you can eat. To be able to
yes.
sleep.
Yeah, I call him. And Jeff, is it good? Can I eat?
Can I sleep now? Okay.
Put my pants on now. Oh my God. All right.
No.
Let's race through our clips, and we got a really quick tech breakdown. Then we're going to bring on
Okay. Want some clips
Ron and
next?
Darrell and Stan. I think we're
All right.
waiting for Ron yet, though, right?
He popped in and left, so maybe he's figuring out his connection there. But
He's probably catching some of those solar neutrinos.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
All right. You want to do some clips next?
Sure.
All right. Here we go.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Clip 1. Sound is really good. Very short. 2 ravens, which are my favorite bird, are communicating. I love this footage because whoever filmed them really got close. They're not in a tree. They're probably on a cliff. Go ahead. They're probably nesting. You got to put the volume up, man. I don't hear a thing.
You're not getting volume?
Nothing.
Oh
no. This might have something to do with your audio.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see here. I might have to.
No, don't say it.
I'm not
We'll
getting.
just skip
I'm not
them.
getting.
We'll skip them, and you can do a test next week. We'll just skip them.
Yeah, I'm not getting audio.
If you have no sound, everyone depends on sound almost. We'll just do them next week.
All right.
All right.
Save those for next week. So should we skip ahead to.
That'll save me work, right?
What's that?
That'll save me work.
Yeah.
Although there is one you could play. Let's just play one because I want to talk about it a little bit. Play clip 10. It doesn't matter. The sound doesn't make any difference. Clip 10. All right. Do you know what these are, Jeff? Have you ever seen these?
Kind of like a horseshoe crab, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not. They're called, they're called tadpole shrimp, but better known commercially as traps. You can buy these. You can buy them on Amazon, believe it or not, and they come as just dried eggs. In fact, throw that picture up. I mean, they're really creepy looking. You can get 200 triop eggs for a mere $12.
Let me put that picture up. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
the picture. I had that picture and it disappeared. I'm having all kinds of computer issues.
You
here,
are.
Man.
Well,
driving me nuts.
Well, that's fine.
There we go.
There it is. Okay. So you can buy these, raise them, and then put them in your buddy's shoe. Pour, fill a shoe full of water and pour a bunch of traps, or you could put them in the toilet, freak people out.
Yeah, those things are wild, man. I've never seen those before.
They're really creepy looking. They live about 90 days, 20 to 90 days is all. But then if they dry up, they lay their eggs, and the eggs can survive for like decades.
Wow.
It's real weird.
Yeah, I didn't know those existed.
Yeah. So if you end up with traps in your toilet, now you'll know where they came from.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it. You could hear a grown man scream. Could you imagine? Like
that would get my attention.
Like, ugh, think about that swimming around. Anyway,
no, thanks.
They're weird. All right. And then there actually is one more that goes with that. And this one I thought was kind of weird. Clip 11. It is the surface of Mars. And it was just kind of weird timing because I found this clip after I was looking at the traps. Just go ahead and play this. There's no sound. What in the world are these spikes or fins? And I thought, God, it looks like the back of a triops. Maybe it's a giant Martian triops man-eating.
I'm sure that must be what it is.
I'm sure it's a man-eating Martian triops.
Yeah.
It does look like a creature. Doesn't it look like fish bones or bones?
Yeah,
or
that's crazy. That's a strange. Yeah, there's some strange stuff up there.
You could say, yeah, all day. It's just a naturally formed thing. But man, I don't know. I tend to kind of wonder about that one. All right, tech breakdown. We're going to bring our guests on.
Breakdown. Here we go.
I didn't know if you were coming back.
Yeah, it's long. It seems longer than normal.
What's going on? I think we're part of the Mandela effect.
There's some Twilight Zone stuff going on right now in my computer.
Oh, I could tell you a story from it happened 2 nights in a row over here at the Hajicek house.
Strange stuff.
Really weird stuff going on.
Strange days, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. So this tech breakdown, as we're getting towards Christmas, I like to give, ideas that might be a good gift, for a loved one.
We're getting a little closer to getting towards Christmas. It's like
this is probably the last
10 days.
It's fine. You have plenty of time. They have overnight shipping on there.
Yeah, true enough.
Anyhow, this is it's called an Insta360 Go 3S. It comes with you can get it with some kits. There's all sorts of people offering these kits. 64 gigabytes, 4K action camera. It's the size of your thumb, and it fits in that little cradle, which you can use it to charge and view. Okay, so this is not real cheap. It's not real expensive. You can see how small it is. $239 on Amazon. But you talk about a field of view. Go look at footage on YouTube from a 360 camera. It's insane. Like you can't even see the person holding it because it's the footage is surrounding you. Okay, so here's my idea. This is what I'm going to try this summer. I'm going to get 2 of these. You can throw up that little, there's a little bracket that you can buy. It's at the bottom. You can show the whole kit there. There's the bracket. Okay. So you can put like green vinyl over everything. And in fact, there's camouflage vinyl you can buy on eBay. Mm-hmm. Camouflage it all up, just the lens showing. These have an operating life of about 40 minutes. So you don't get a lot. This isn't like a camera trap you're going to leave out. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to walk. You're going to have this all pre-ready with a little wire that's clipped in one of those holes. You're going to have the little thumb camera in this. You're going to have it all camouflaged up. You're going to walk by a tree, and you're not going to even slow down. You're going to put that on the backside of a tree in the direction that you're walking. If you're in an active area, hoping that you're being observed and even followed. So as you get up a quarter of a mile, they may follow you blindly. And if you don't sit there and stop and make a big deal out of putting it up, you could end up being the next Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin.
Yeah, that's
this
pretty
camera.
Cool.
The idea is just with a quick motion with your arm, get that hook on there or a little spike, you'll figure it out. And just hook it on a branch, super quick, kind of almost in one motion, and keep walking. Right. That's the thing. You don't pause, and then you wait 40 minutes and you walk back.
That's pretty cool.
And you pick it up. This can be used for so many things. And in the cradle, of course, it'll run for whenever. But read up on it. It'll do a million different things. Okay.
That's really cool.
There you go. That's it?
That's it.
Yes. And do you want one for those for Christmas, Jeff?
It's a pretty cool gadget. I don't know it'd be fun to play with.
Look at all the stuff you get. It's kind of nuts how much stuff they give you, mounts, and it's nuts. But they make a really good action camera.
Yeah.
I like things that are multi-purpose. You could use a dash
absolutely.
Cam. You can do all sorts of things with it. You clip it on your body. You can have a little power pack for auxiliary power, so it'll run all day. But I like the idea of this, just a flick camera trap that you put up and you keep walking.
Right.
It's just such a common story. They're being, that people are being trailed.
And then again, the point is with that wide field of view, you don't have to aim it. It's going to capture.
Right. That's the idea. Correct.
That's kind of the whole point.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point.
That's what my brain was thinking. It's so wide. Yeah. It's even if it's pointing in the wrong direction, it'll still get.
It's going to capture everything.
Yeah, it'll get it. Yep. And that's really all I've got. We've got everybody. Let's introduce these guys. Should I go the brief way or the long way? These guys are all quite accomplished. Sure. Ron Morehead is obviously very prominent Bigfoot researcher. I kind of believe everybody that's interested in Bigfoot knows who Ron is.
Yeah.
He's got well over 50 years of experience. He began his journey in 1971 accidentally. And then, of course, he's conducted extensive research into the Sasquatch phenomena. He's a multi-book author. But he captured the best vocalizations ever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The first book, I think, was Voices in the Wilderness. And that is being turned into an audiobook. We'll talk about that, which would be really cool. And remember, there's a whole new generation of people coming into this mystery.
Yeah.
It's changing. So Ron's contributions have made him a very significant figure in the field of cryptozoology. And he can obviously, he's very generous with his time. And he continues to share his insights through podcasts, public speaking engagements, and whatever. And I'll tell you, the man's got a funny sense of humor too. I love it. I got to hang out with him for a weekend, and I was cracking up the whole time I was with him. Neat guy. Okay, then we've got Stan Schumlick. Stan Schumlick is known for his work in film, particularly in the family genre. He gained recognition for his roles in Casper Meets Wendy in 1998, and Casper is obviously the ghost. I grew up watching the Casper.
Yep, I remember those comics when I was a kid. Yep.
Spirited Being in 1997. He's done a lot more than that, but this is something you guys will all know. But beyond his film work, details about his personal life and other professional endeavors are less documented. But he's into Bigfoot. He's also quite a researcher.
Yeah, we get some stories for us too.
Then we have the nicest man in Bigfooting, Darrell Denton. He is a prominent figure in Bigfoot research and cryptozoology with over 3 decades of experience. He has had numerous encounters with Bigfoot and other cryptids, primarily in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia. Darrell is known for his firsthand accounts, investigations, and he shares through various platforms, including podcasts, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And he runs the Facebook group Bigfoot Believers and Other Creatures, right?
Yep.
There's like the land between the lakes. I can't wait to talk about all this.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff to talk about.
Anyhow, so, and I think that him and Ron are doing a new podcast. We'll let them explain that.
Yeah.
And we'll put links up for them. But anyhow, let's, do you want to discredit them or not?
I'm going to, you mean disclaim them?
Disclaim, I mean. See, I'm getting all mixed up to not discredit.
Big difference.
No, we don't even.
Big difference. We're not going to discredit them.
We don't need to with these legends. We don't want to disclaim them. We want to claim them, not
Yes,
disclaim.
absolutely.
Okay. So let's bring them on.
All right. Welcome, Ron and Darrell and Stan. Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Hey.
Good to be here. Thanks for the introduction.
Stan, I gave you like what months and months of warning, right? I called.
Oh yeah.
I gave Stan a text not too long ago, going, Stan, you're on tonight.
And for the record, I am wearing pants.
That's good. Yes.
Good to know.
Good Ron, how about you? You got pants on?
I do. Yes, I do.
Ron called me right before the show started. I just decided to not wear them on. So,
hey, don't relate me to that.
Okay. Anyhow, okay. I don't know where to start with you guys because you're all just so accomplished. But Ron, why don't you tell us about, you've got it. The Voices of the Wilderness is a very famous book, but now some magic is going to happen with it, right? What's the plan?
I think so, yeah. Thanks to Stan. He's putting an audiobook together for me. And it's about my chronicle of Voices in the Wilderness. My book, Voices in the Wilderness, that was my first book, and it's got the sounds embedded in it. And so this all got to come out audio CD now, or audio book now. And I think it's probably going to be distributed with you guys. So that'll be fun. And it's about my chronicle of doing this for so long. And, well, at that time, it's been out for about almost 10 years now, I guess. So,
say, Ron, do you own
some
books? Like just tons of books? We should
I
try
do.
to lift your camera up. We should try to.
Oh,
We're just.
well, you mean, do you want books in the back of me?
I want to get closer to you. We can't even see you back there.
Oh, well, I got to get binoculars to see myself with this little camera I got here. Well, let me just hold it here. I can hold it.
Hold it. Just stack some books on it and lean it. Just have one book sticking out.
There we go.
Everybody uses their phones
There you
now
go,
for
brother. We got
podcasting.
you.
There you go. Yeah, we want to see you, Ron.
Do you now?
Do you?
Let's see. Let's see if I got something else.
Yeah. Just take his camera off for a second, Jeff.
Giving all my books to my daughter, Rhonda. Most of them, anyway. Most of my. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta set this down a second. Threw me a curve.
Anyhow, Stan, how's this audiobook coming?
Actually, it's going quite well. What I should note is that Ron, it's his voice, but it's actually AI that spoke the book. And so I've been battling with Robo Ron for a while. He just doesn't do drama well.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, trying to make it sound like Ron. Ron's an intelligent man. He speaks very succinctly, and Robo Ron can do a run-on sentence that it would be impossible for a human to speak without passing out from lack of oxygen.
Well, you played some of it to me, and it was amazing because you're doing more than just doing an AI voice based on his voice. You are editing the entire thing to put in proper breathing and pauses and all that.
Well, yeah, it's Ron telling you a bedtime story, and it needs to be entertaining.
Yeah. No, we lost Ron. That's all right.
Yeah, I glitched out. I had to reboot.
Well, yeah, the AI does a really good job, but apparently it doesn't like certain punctuation together. It really makes it kind of randomly say stuff. In fact, Ron, who never said the word and never said the phrase ooga booga, said both of those via AI.
So how long have you been working on this, Stan?
We sort of started at the end of September, and I slapped the whole thing together because I was trusting the AI did a good job. And I went back and listened to it and went, oh, no. This has got to be entertaining for whoever listens to this. It needs to really sound like it's Ron reading you a story and not a computer that sort of kind of sounds like Ron.
Right. I know, because what I listened to didn't sound like monotone. I mean, it sounded pretty dang good.
Trust me when I tell you there was a lot of massaging to get it there.
Yeah, I know. When do you think it'll be done so people can buy it?
Well, in fact, this afternoon I did an audio sweetening pass. There is one section that I'm told is a little rough in chapter 19. I'm going to go back and check that and possibly regenerate the text. I'm expecting it in the next 24 to 48 hours, and then Ron needs to listen and give the approval. And once he's happy, it's ready.
Yeah, well, that's very cool. So you worked on the Casper movies. And what role did you play in those movies, Steve?
I animated Casper.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy.
Expressions, lip sync, action,
Awesome.
lighting. Oh, my. For two of Casper's films.
That's pretty impressive. And how did you get that job?
Well, I've been in the film business for well over 30 years. And I've done commercials and worked on TV series and the occasional movie here and there. And I was just known for being a character animator. I used to be a member of a users group in Los Angeles where I would get up and do a half-hour to 45-minute presentation to other people who do what we do. It was just kind of fun. And after one of the presentations, I was approached and asked if I'd like to come work on it. Of course, they said yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's always interesting. People get certain jobs. Like, how did that work out?
Well, I usually say it's because I have a big mouth. My partner used to tease me all the time. He'd go, after the meetings, he would say, how are we going to get that done? And I would tell him, I don't know, but we got 3 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah, great. Hey, we have Ron back. There we go.
Give
You
me
can
back.
see him.
I booted. I don't know what happened. I'll hold it if I'm not too jerky here. Am I closer now?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, yeah, it's much better. Well, you don't have to hold it. There's got to be a way you can prop it up, Ron. There's got to be something.
Well, you
you
wouldn't know
gotta
what
do.
I've been going through. I'm gonna. Hey, wait a minute. That's
Come
too
on.
far away.
Are you on your phone, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody's had my laptop for the last couple of months, and I'm not used to
I
it. So
know.
sudden,
I'm glad it got to go
Yeah.
home finally.
All right.
but I got a good camera on it, I think. Oh, my phone's getting hot. Hope it don't bounce off again. Let's see. Anyway, let's get back to meat of everything. Can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see you. I just feel bad. But
Well,
you
you
have
too.
to hold that darn thing. It's not fun.
It's okay.
Okay, so you had no interest in Bigfoot when you went to that camp in '71. Like, no interest. You just were up there elk hunting.
Well, no. Prior to that, I didn't have an interest. When I went up there the first time, I went up with a guy who wouldn't go back by himself because he got scared off. That was Donald, Bill McDowell's brother-in-law. And anyway, they've been hunting that area for a long time, and they came back with a story. So they went up to check it all out, and anyway, they didn't come out when they were supposed to. I've told this story over and over, but I'll tell it again. Anyway, I started going up there in '71, but nobody had an interest in Bigfoot up there. But when I went up, I had an interest in whatever was up there. I didn't know if it was Bigfoot or what. I just knew some kind of a monster that the Johnson brothers had told us all about. So I went up to see if the guys were okay. Went up with a friend of mine, with Donald actually, and so that's how I got involved, really. And that was 1971. Earlier that year, Johnson brothers had experienced something pretty phenomenal, and didn't know quite how to explain it. They've been going to that camp since 1958, so they knew the area, knew the animal, expert hunters actually. So that's how I got involved, pretty much that way. But there was a hunting camp, so I started hunting with them after that, and we started having these multiple encounters over the years.
Well,
Started recording them.
what was the very first thing that happened to you, Ron? The very first. Was it subtle?
Well, the very first thing that happened, Bigfoot-wise, or when I got up
Yes,
there?
yeah, Bigfoot-wise. What was the very first thing that you heard happened?
I heard these aggressive sounds outside. They're really territorial sounds. I mean, chest beating and sound like a big monster of some kind. Several of them, more than one. And we also started taking tape recorders up there, cassette recorders, all we could take, and so we were all recording. It wasn't until the year later when Al Berry went up with, he started taking it seriously. We were not knowing what we're dealing with, looking for the ape in the woods like everybody does nowadays, and thinking that's all it was, but something very unique because they were very big. The tracks they left were huge, and anyway, just stuff started happening. That's how I got involved. And it was '71, so it went on from '71 all the way through to '76, and that's when it pretty much died down. There's still something going on.
I know, but
though.
can you be more specific and just kind of focus on that first scream you heard? What were you doing? What did you hear
Well,
exactly?
we're all sitting inside that little hutch we had. I guess you call it with our guns cocked, ready to shoot.
So you hear,
yeah,
okay,
you didn't
so
know.
you're in the, was this in the middle of the night? Was it in the daytime?
Well, it wasn't in the middle of the night. It was right after we go in. It's like they were observing us till we went in. We'd go inside after it started getting dark and close the shelter door, which was just another log we put between two other trees. And that was pretty much how our protection, we thought, that and our guns. So really there was, we had a certain amount of security thing we were thinking with us with these high-powered weapons we had. And that didn't seem to stop them from making their sounds and all. So anyway.
I realize, Ron, I know this. I think most people know the story, but they don't know exactly what in the world were you doing when you heard that? You guys all heard that scream. I mean, were you guys,
Yeah, we was inside the shelter. We was listening
I know,
to it.
but how did you react? What did you say to each other?
Well, you try to stop the other guy from shaking so much. For one thing.
Was it
no?
Was it really, really loud? Was it super
Very,
loud?
very. You can't explain how loud it was. It just jar you. That's the biggest thing right there. It's like you couldn't capture that on the cassettes. The amplitude, which is all this stuff came out, which was really pretty horrific. And anyway, it'll jar you a little bit, but we sit stuck there. You can't go anywhere. You can't run away from it. So you're not going to go out there where they are. You just sit there and hope they're not going to crash in on you or something.
I mean, were you guys afraid of that?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't fear as much as it was. Well, yeah, I guess we would call it fear. But I learned. I try not to have fear. I mean, everybody's got it. I can be startled, and that's basically the better way to say it, startling. Because yeah, you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what the intent is. You don't know what they are. You don't know what's going to happen. So you just sit there and hope you make it through it, and you do. And we didn't shoot our way out, and they didn't break in on us. So we were there for the rest of the evening, and went on for an hour or two. And then you'd hear them later on after everybody started tapering down. You'd still hear them walking around a little bit out there sometimes. And I got on one of my recordings. I got footsteps going around. I had a stereo recorder. I started taking up there, a different recorder.
Well, obviously, yeah. You guys kept going back, but. I'm so much interested in that first time.
I ended up getting a stereo recorder and putting mic on each side of the shelter, and you could hear them where they were. They're more directional that way with the headset on.
How close was that first scream run?
Oh gosh, they're probably 20 feet away.
Wow.
I'm guessing at that because you didn't see them out there at that time. You just were just there. But from the tracks, we've had them. I've had them right next to the shelter. I mean, just within a few feet. Found tracks there the next morning. So it's kind of an interesting thing to go through. And it's been quite a passion of mine now for all my life. I've been kind of into it. So
yeah, I'd say. So Darrell, I want to switch to Darrell for a second. What was your first thoughts when you first heard the Sierra sounds? First time, if you can remember. What were you thinking?
Well, I think the first time I heard it was probably in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe. It's pretty remarkable that of all these years, 67 being Patterson and Gimlin, Patty sighted, and then 4 years later, you've got Ron's recording of the Sierra sounds, and those two still today are probably listed as the best evidence we've ever had. So it's pretty amazing that, I've been good friends with Ron for a good while and been best friends with him the last couple of years, and he just has a lot of knowledge. And one thing about, he takes it to heart, and he has such a great way of sharing what he does, and I'm quite honored to be such a close friend with him. And I think when I first heard it, I had a sound after my first encounter like I've never heard in my life, and it still lives in me today. And that was in November of '92, and I've never heard anything like that, but it was nothing like what Ron had heard. I can't imagine being in that camp in those mountains, and he and I have talked about this numerous times, and with all that going on and being at 7 to 8 miles from the nearest road, you're there. You're not coming out.
Right.
So,
you're not leaving in the dark.
It takes a lot of nerve, and it's not easy to get to that camp anyway. I mean, you've got to travel by horseback, and that's still not easy. And I'd say they're pretty brave guys to go back repeatedly. And, Ron has been back since then with Dave Pilatus up there when he filmed The Hunted. So it's pretty remarkable. I think the Sierra Sounds audio is the best ever recorded. I don't think anything will ever surpass it.
Yeah. Oh, what were your thoughts, Stan? First time you heard, discovered the Sierra sounds, what was going through your mind?
First thing I heard was the samurai sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like an argument I've had with previous girlfriends.
You thought I was funny.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know who Ron was when I first met him. I just thought he had a cool hat.
Oh, just his hat.
Well, this was at Beachfoot this year.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't even into this whole Sasquatch research thing at all. A friend of mine, Kevin Lindley, asked me to help him out at the Glide Festival, where I met Todd Neese. And Todd gave me the invitation to Beachfoot, and that's where I met Ron and William Morris.
Wow.
Kind of a strange sequence of events. So technically it's Kevin's fault, then it's Todd's fault, and now it's Bill's fault.
Yeah. But it's always Ron's fault, always.
No, it's Trump's fault.
I don't think it's really Ron's fault, you know.
Okay. So, I can testify. I personally have heard this argument at Snow Grove. It happened at Snow Grove the first time I was in the cabin, and it sounded like a male and a female arguing really violently. Ron, is that the way you interpreted those samurai kind of things too?
Well, the samurai wasn't that way that night when I recorded the samurai cry. That's when I was interacting with him more. Let me put this. No, the arguing was just that, according to linguists we had listened to him. Is Nancy Logan, actually. She's a sound expert, and she said that they were a male and female arguing and on some of the sounds. So we recorded sounds for hours. I mean, we got not just one night or 2 nights. We got several nights of recordings, and Al Berry is the one who actually fostered the studies on them at the University of Wyoming to show that they were legitimate. That got us started. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking tonight, probably. So I gotta take my hat off to Al. He passed away a few years ago. We became very good friends.
Yeah, and you guys were really good friends.
We started going on. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I had a chance to meet Al and you for the first time at the China Flats Museum many years ago, and got to meet Al. It was really cool, and he told me the whole story, and he was trying to debunk you.
Oh yeah, that was his whole goal, was trying to find out who could be doing this out there in the middle of nowhere, 8 miles in the wilderness, and a really imposing area to get to. And he never could get that part. He told me one time he wished it had been a hoax so he could have explained it better. But anyway, he was a good friend of mine, and didn't start off that way. We thought he was kind of an ass. He's trying to accuse each of us separately, so what kind of reaction he'd get to see if we were guilty of doing something wrong. But he never could get to the bottom of it like that. So he ended up just writing a book of his own, and that's. But anyway, I got nothing but good to say about Al. He's a good man.
Was he a complete believer before he passed?
No. Who'd say what he believes? I think he probably was. He was convinced something was going on that wasn't normal, and it wasn't just an ape in the woods, because it had to have more to it. It was just too many strange things went on besides the sounds there, and that kind of threw him for a loop, because he had a master's degree in science, and he was very academic. He was an officer in Vietnam. Saw action in Vietnam. He is quite the gentleman, but he is also very smart. He had 2 master's degrees, actually, and he had a mining engineer. Anyway, Al, I can't say enough good about him. He was just a good man, and he fostered the studies. Actually, got him going. He wanted the science behind it, and so he said, "What do you do? Stay with science." He said, "This has all got to be science somewhere." So that's what got me into quantum science later on, because that is the science. But he was academic, totally thinking everything is see, feel, and touch. And but there's more going on to that, as most of all of us know now. There's a lot more going on than just our 5 senses.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now, what I want to do tonight, more than anything, is do a lot of collabing, like compare some of Darrell's things that's happened to him to what's happened to you, and people in our audience to leave comments, to really get active and say, I've listened to the Sierra sounds, I've heard the stories, and I had the same thing happen. So I'm looking for similarities. I think it's really important people compare notes. It's not enough of that. So, Darrell, and I would imagine with all your experience in the areas you work, you've heard some pretty good vocals.
You know, I have heard a lot of vocals. One of the best vocals that I ever had. Ron happened to be with us. It was Martin Groves, one of my closest friends, about 46 years, and Barton Unley and Ron Morehead. We were in the LBL, and Barton was famous for letting out these certain screams, and he's really good with them, and he gets a call back from something occasionally, and most of the time it's a coyote or something like that. But this particular night in March of 2024, we were parked in an area that we'd had many encounters and experiences in, the area we call Area 23. And we're in a vehicle. Ron is in the front passenger side next to Martin Groves, who's driving. I'm behind Martin. Martin's behind Ron. And Martin gets out and makes this call, and we get an answer the second time he made it, and it was an extremely long return call. Quite frankly, I had heard similar, but not one quite that long. And Barton did a lot of work with that to send it off to several scientific agencies, and they'd never heard that call ever before. So I do not have that with me, but I do have the call, and it was pretty remarkable. And we also had what we call a shofar with us that night.
That's that horn.
That's correct, yeah.
The horn.
A rare goat horn, twisted goat horn that takes a certain type to make a certain call that supposedly Bigfoot will answer, or Sasquatch, whatever you'd like to call them. And
does it work?
Well, Martin has never gotten it quite down the way it has to be done, and be careful blowing that thing, because you can actually maybe do something wrong on it. But Tim Kumbo Baker is probably the best at using that instrument, and he has actually called Bigfoot in with that. So, but we did not have any success that night. But that call that I was talking about, it was sent to several scientific agencies, and they'd never recorded a call like that, the return.
You know, the important,
most notorious.
That was the same night. We heard something swimming across that waterway there, didn't we?
Yep, we did. Same night, yes, sir.
Yeah, that was interesting, because I was waiting for. We were looking for the dog man, but
we were
who knows what it was.
Yeah. That same area that we're talking about, Martin and Ron was with us in October of 23 in the LBL in a certain area we camped out in. We had a cabin there. That same area, that trip, we had recorded.
I've lost sound, guys.
In that particular area.
No, we can hear you. Everybody hear everybody okay? Darrell?
I hear.
Yeah.
So what you can do, Stan, is just reboot and just hit the join link again. It'll bring it right back in. Just like if you're using your phone, just shut your phone off and start it up again. I don't think there'd be any other reason he'd lose sound, would he, Jeff?
I have no idea. That's when in doubt, reboot.
Yeah. Seems to work 90% of the time.
I'll send him.
I don't think he can hear us.
Sometimes he can actually hit the mute button and cut himself off. So.
Well, he'd still be able to hear us, so.
Yeah, he's not muted unless he's not muted on the.
Yeah. Anyhow, so, well, yeah, get it worked out with him, Jeff.
Yeah, I just sent him a text to reboot here.
Anyhow, so did you ever do anything to attract these creatures, Ron? Leave food out, bang on trees, whistle, use some kind of horn, anything?
No horn. We would bang on a tree once in a while, but generally you can't make them do anything. It's just they just got to trust you and start interacting with you if they want to. When you start hearing them bang, or when you start hearing them whoop, that's when you know you can do something back if you want to. But I wouldn't. You can't really make it happen. You just got to let it happen. Hope they recognize your vibration, that it's okay, and they're gonna be safe around you. I guess that's how they think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just don't know. We've tried to play back our sounds. That didn't work. I don't encourage anybody to do that, because you don't know what the sounds really represent.
Right.
In fact, one guy did that, and he said one charged him. So it's just, you don't want to. Well, there's a whole list of things you do's and don'ts, which I've got listed, but it's a matter of allowing it to happen and know who you are and know and being with other people that feel the same way. And
so
you don't want
so
to have
as you
to.
so as you guys would return, did you have more and more action, or was it always kind of the same? Did it increase? Did it become more friendly? How would you
became more
describe?
friendly after. I became more friendly after a couple of years. In 1974, it was very friendly. That's when I interacted with them, because they actually started to mess with us while we're outside of the shelter. Normally they wait till we're inside the shelter, close the doors, and they start making their sounds. But this was 74 when I recorded it. That's the night I saw one. It's when I recorded the Samurai Cry, and I started responding back to it, to them. I think there was a young one, an adolescent, and possibly the mother down by the creek, and the Samurai Cry was up behind us. That's night I saw it running down through the trees to the other two. And anyway, that was quite an adventurous night. And so really, I don't know what to say. It was a fun night. It was exciting. Actually, it's things I started having the next night, but Lewis Johnson and Warren Johnson came in, and Lewis started shining his flashlight out and about, and when they started doing that, and they left.
And Stan, are you going to be putting the Sierra sounds in the Voices of the Wilderness?
Oh, they are all in line.
Oh.
Just where the book tells you to play the track, it's the track.
So
cool.
they're not only going to get the story in the book, they're going to get the actual sounds too in the right time as he tells the story.
Yes,
Wow.
in context with the story.
Wow. Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
That's a game changer.
Yeah, I love
Big game changer.
I'd like this, Doug. I think one of the most mysterious things that Ron has told me over the years is these creatures definitely have a higher vibration and have a way to do things that's very hard for our mind to wrap around. And Ron has told me, I can let him tell you, but the night they heard their camp being torn to pieces, and go ahead, Ron.
Well, we thought it was being torn to pieces, so we looked out there and nothing changed. So that's interesting in and of itself. You don't know if they're hypnotizing us all, if they just how we heard we always heard that, and we thought our camp was being ransacked, really. But when we looked out there, nothing had changed.
Well,
And that's just
Ron,
one thing. It's several.
Be specific. I know you've told these stories a million times, but can you be specific? When you say you heard the camp being torn apart, we
were in the shelter, Doug. Yes, we heard our goods that were inside the barrels being taken out, the food that we brought up was being taken out, and the cans that were in there being thrown out. And yeah, there were pots and pans out, but you hear all this racket going on, and you're not making notes at the time. You're just listening and wondering what's going on. But you look out there later, and nothing had changed. Nothing had changed. I mean, the barrels were still just the way they were tied up before with cables, and
you also heard the car door shut, I believe, Ron.
Right, the car door.
There's all kinds of things. Now I mentioned that in David Paulati's Missing 411. Yeah, it's just stuff like that happened. You can't explain it classically. You can't put a finger on it, and that's what got me into quantum theory, because quantum science, as you know, goes beyond our classical science. And even though we all live in our third density, we need to know and understand there's other densities out there, other vibrations that we just don't see, hear, or touch, or feel with our senses. And that's all classical science is based on, is what you can know, material and physical. And yet there's so much more going on. And anyone that says there isn't, they're uneducated with it. You just got to look into it. Because a lot of times people used to call me, well, he's in the woo or something like that. Well,
Right.
now I consider that a compliment, except they just don't know what they're talking about. Because really, quantum physics is not the woo. It's just it's not the paranormal. It's existing, and it works all the way from the atom through the cosmos. Just we're in a third density. That's our place here on this planet. It's third density, and there's other vibrations higher that we just well we can get to them in this, but we got to know how. And that's our purpose here on this planet is to increase our vibration to get better. I got a whole program on talking about that stuff. It's kind of interesting, really. I think, and I devoted my life to it, really.
Well, what have you
Bigfoot,
done? Okay, all right, Ron. What have you done differently though? Now that you have these theories, you go out with Darrell. What do you guys do different? Based on your
well,
theories.
actually, yeah, Doug, the best thing you can do is learn how to control your fear because they feed on
Exactly.
fear.
Yeah.
And I think anybody with fear, you're going to have your enemy's going to be out there. You can't fear it. And you just got to know who you are as a human, know that you've got dominion on this planet and nothing's going to bother you. If you feel that way about yourself, then you're going to be okay. Just don't fear it. And it's easier said than done because a lot of people, they want to run from this stuff.
Yeah.
But when we were up at that camp, you can't run. I mean, you just got to stay there and stick it out no matter what's going on. And so anyway, that's what I suggest to people: learn how to control your fear.
So okay,
Fear
so
will get
control
you.
your fear. What other things do you do?
Be yourself. Just be good. Be a good person. Yes. I don't like to say it that way,
Yeah, I
but
like to.
I mean, you can't go up there with a gun and start shooting around at tin
No.
cans and all that stuff. Just show that you respect where you're at, respect the earth, respect everything around you, because we're very fortunate to be on this planet and very fortunate to have the experiences we're having. And I think that's what makes us human. We should learn to respect the trees, respect the water, respect the forest when you're out there. Because that's what I think went wrong with the people up in Portlock when the Discovery Channel took me up there. The people in Portlock, Alaska, that got mangled years and years ago. I think they were disrespecting the property, and I think probably these things. That was my thoughts about what went on, because I noticed when I flew over in a helicopter that it was really been clear cut, timbered a lot years and years ago. You could see the growth differences, and they were overfishing it from the pictures I saw, because this is all recorded from the late 40s, 1940s, and you can read upon all that stuff, because it's not like if it happened, it happened. And what caused it to happen is what they were wondering, and all you can do is guess, because nobody's around nowadays that was there then that could tell you about it. And so it's kind of a guesswork on my part, but they wanted someone that could suggest something to them, and I suggested, if you come back in here, if you want to re-habituate this village, which they did, just respect things,
Well,
respect
why
the
do they?
property.
Okay, I got a great question, and somebody in the
Go
audience
ahead.
said the same thing. But why do they try to scare us? Why do they project
They
either
feed on
fear
it.
using infrasound or try to scare us?
I think they want to see if they can.
That's exactly right. They feed on
They
the
just want to see
fear.
if, yeah, they just want to see if it can scare you. So just stand your ground and tell them,
If they don't
jump
like
the
you, they'll
lake.
let you know.
These
Yeah.
creatures have a way
Yeah, if
of
they tear your
reading.
arm off, you know they don't like you. You know.
These creatures have a way of reading you. They can tell your intentions, and their abilities are very difficult to believe, but it's true. They know when you walk into the woods what your intentions are, and if you're carrying a weapon or a camera, they don't like that, and your chances of seeing them are very rare. And you've got to have the right frame of mind, as Ron stated. And I usually direct myself to them when I walk in the woods, and I've used many a time the word, I'm here to visit you in your home, the Chayitanka, because the Chayitanka relates to the word as great leader of the forest by the Native Americans, and they do understand that. The clan that I was with did, and they have a ability to understand what you're feeling and what your intentions are, and I can't only tell you that they have it. I don't know how they have it, but they have that type of perception.
Well, I think we all have it, Darrell.
Hey, Darrell, is there a way? I don't know if you're using an external mic. Can you get closer to your computer mic or whatever?
Is that any better?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, the
Okay.
closer you get, it's going to be better.
Yeah, I think Ron is right. He and I pretty much have talked about these type things so many times and pretty much agree on it because we both believe it. And these creatures have an ability to just pick up on your abilities and what you're there of. And if you're scared, they pick up on it and they will ride it out because they don't like fear. And they think they are the upper one. We're the lower one. They're the higher being. And I know they feel that way. And there are a lot of really friendly ones and ones that you can be around as long as they feel you're the same way. It takes a lot of time to earn their trust.
Well, is it generally the females that are the nicer ones and the males are the more territorial?
I think so. I think that's just my opinion because I think the females probably. The
female is the one you go in between. If you can gain some trust within the female and show that you're not there for bad intentions and you're not there to harm them or to harm their land or their family, then the other ones will start to possibly give you that chance to be trusted.
Very interesting. But I still do wonder why they're testing us because let's say you're a good person and you're confident in yourself, you know you're not going to harm them, and then they scare the living crap out of you. Well,
that's all self-imposed, Doug. I mean, how's anything going to scare you unless you just let it?
Well, yeah, I agree, but if you're sitting there in your cabin and they bang into it real hard, it startles you. You know, it's startling. I don't know. Is that fear?
Reaction.
You know, we were in a cabin in the LBL and a certain area that we stayed in there, and they were all around our cabin all night long. I mean, they would walk by the window, you can see their shadow, and Ron got up, I got up, we all got up, and the creatures was on the front porch of this place banging a rock on the concrete step, and that went on for quite a while, and they were trying to get our attention. They weren't actually trying to harm us. They want to let us know that they're there, and if they wanted to harm us, they have the strength and the power to knock the door down and pull every one of us out. So they have their own reasons for some of that. I can't answer all of those. I don't think anybody can. But if they do have any type of feeling toward you that you're not there to harm them, then they're not going to harm you, in my opinion. Now, there are some bad ones out there. I've run into some of those, and I do think some of those would probably take you out, would probably even eat you for dinner. But the biggest majority of them are not like that. So.
Well, is it possible, I'm just going to throw this out there, that they just have a really great sense of humor?
They do have it.
And that's the main reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they do. They toy with people. They
Yep.
do. They toyed with
Sure
us
do.
up there. We didn't really
They do it
realize
for
but they
entertainment.
were messing with us.
Well,
They're messing with
not-
us. That's how they think that we think we're smarter than them, and really they all
That's
kind of
exactly
got us
right. Yeah.
outgoing. You know, we try to trick them, and they go right around it. We tried to
Every
trick them so
time.
many times. We tried to trick so many times. And that's what we needed. We thought was a picture. All we got was recordings, but we were still trying to get a picture all the time, and that was just virtually impossible. They fox you each time they go around the camera trap or something like that.
It's
And
kind of like
what I have discovered though is these things have a human component to them, Doug, and I believe that 100% because of the studies we've had done on the sounds. They represent something over 8 foot tall, and really, then you got Scott Nelson, the cryptolinguist, who said there's a language. And then you got Professor Philip Lieberman, Brown University, says only humans have language. So, you know, you get into language, and that's really critical.
Do you remember that John Green, I think, helped finance a study on your sounds with Dr. Benson at A&M, Texas A&M? Do you remember that study at all?
Yeah, I don't remember John Green having anything to do with it, but I remember
Oh, well,
Benson.
maybe he didn't. This goes back a lot of years. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it does.
what I do remember, Ron, this is important. Dr. Benson called me up and he said that creature had to be no less than 800 pounds because he could measure the vocal cord length.
Right. That's what Curlin did too. And they, unbeknownst to each other, that's two different.
No, right. Benson didn't know anything about the Curlin study.
Yeah, and he's a sound engineer. Dr. Benson was, but he didn't do a full-blown study. I contacted him and I asked him. He said, "I just don't have time to do it." He said, "I can't do it." Of course, you don't know what's really going on in people's minds when it comes to Bigfoot. And you start talking about stuff like this because academia takes a real hit if they tackle a subject like this. But it's getting better and better as we go through year after year. People are
well, he did a preliminary, but he could measure the vocal cord distance exactly, and he came to the conclusion. Called me up, and he goes, "Yeah, this whatever made these sounds is massive."
Yeah, I didn't know he got a hold of you. I didn't know that.
Oh God, yeah.
I was on a program. Yeah.
I was heavily involved with Benson and sounds and John Green, of course.
Is Benson still with us? Is he still around?
I would think so. I bet he's retired though.
Yeah. Well, actually, Dr. Chris Blair, West Texas A&M, he's the one who I quoted in my studies, but he said everything works from the atom to the cosmos and the quantum physics. So I rely on that statement quite a bit. And of course, Edgar Mitchell has some things to say too. Takes classical and quantum sciences together to have clear perception. So why don't researchers use all the science available? You got these sciences out there, but still they want something they can feel, a touch, a material, and really there's something else going on that we need to get our finger on here.
Well, so many people so many people do not have a grasp on quantum physics. They just don't. And the best way I always explain it to somebody is thinking, I have two envelopes. One says yes, one says no. And then I hand one off to an alien, and he drives that envelope a billion jillion miles away. And then I open my envelope, and it says no. I know instantly that his envelope says yes. It's kind of like that. Because...
Well, it's two particles. Because, can they cloak? I got the science behind how they can disappear. And that sounds very strange to people because nothing can disappear from your eyesight, right? Well, that's not right. Things can disappear from your... Everything is a frequency, energy, and vibration. Light's frequency is between 430 and 770 terahertz. And everything outside that frequency, you're not going to see. What causes that is light. If you don't have light, you don't see. So what happens? You're not seeing me or somebody else when you're looking at them. You're seeing a reflection of them because of the light. If it was dark, you wouldn't see them. So really, if you just understand how things really work in the universe and throughout everything you're involved in, and third density even, you get further along with your studies. And I wish that others could understand this part because it's just so critical, I think, to understanding what we're dealing with here.
Yep.
Well, do you believe quantum physics are the same thing as dimensions?
Well, the quantum physics has dimensions. The dimension is just a different vibration. I think if you find the vibration of anything, Gordon Einstein, you find the vibration of anything, you change its matter. So my theory is, here's my theory from the sounds, because we never have been able to capture the scope of the sounds, just how far they can go, how far up, how far down, if they can get an infrasound or what frequency they can reach. We don't know. We weren't capturing that with the cassettes. But if you find the frequency of anything, if they can make the frequency to change their matter into energy, because it's all frequency, you get anything at the 49th octave, it'll change into light, any sound. So what I'm saying is my theory is anyway that maybe, just maybe, that's why we're here tonight, is because I think their sound, they are able to create the sound that would change their matter into energy, and that would cause their trackways to stop. That would cause them to dissipate out of our vibrational frequency, out of our perception. So,
All right.
there you
Well,
go. You're a smart man, Doug.
Ron, it brings me to a question I've got to ask you.
I love it.
Okay, so I guarantee you've probably never been asked this question. Have you
Oh.
ever experienced or heard a kind of a hum, a deep hum, while around these creatures ever? And you might have to think, like almost a hummingbird's wings right by your
no, I
ear.
heard what I thought was a tuning fork, a big boom, 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 like
Okay,
that.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
This was daytime. I couldn't find the source of it, but we listened for it, watched for it. I saw a UFO up one time. You need to talk about that because it wasn't very significant, but it was a big blue ball coming down from the sky. And this is all happening at the same time we was having the Bigfoot encounters. So what they are, I don't know, but maybe
Well, let's go back up.
Maybe they're alien.
I want to talk about the hum a little bit more. The hum.
Oh, okay.
Is there any of that on any of your recordings that maybe
No.
you didn't think was important? Any of this?
No, this was daytime, and I didn't have my recorder out, and it was just the one time I remember it.
Well, describe. Can you take a little moment and describe it better?
Yeah, well, better. You know what a tuning fork? You know what a tuning fork sounds like?
Yep. Was it like right by your ear though, like a tuning fork by your ear?
No, it was up in the sky. It was coming down from above us. It wasn't in my ear. We heard it, but it wasn't in my ear.
I think it has a lot to do with the dimensions, personally. So,
well, everything is, if they can, like Einstein said, you find the frequency of everything, you change its matter. So these things, I think, have something has created them that made, who knows, might get into the Anunnaki, make it deeper than anybody wants to get into tonight. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to spend your life looking into this stuff. I got to tell you that. And I've done a lot of it.
We know that, the fourth dimension is all I'd heard about most of my life, and now scientists say there may be up to 11th dimension. So I don't know how many dimensions there are. I don't think anybody actually does, but I do think a lot of those sounds are coming from the vibrations between the dimensions. That's just my personal guess, but I've heard what I believe to be, I don't know if you've ever heard of juice harp. That we call them in Tennessee. It's a little juice harp you play with your mouth.
That mouth harp.
It sounds like that sound I've heard, that boom when you flick it like that in the woods before. And that was also around the same time that we seen all the orbs in that particular area, that we heard that. And Martin Groves, he heard that big sound like a steel door slamming twice when he was in the wilderness, especially when the dog man tried to attack him just a few months after my first experience. So I believe it's just a personal, it's my opinion. I don't have any proof of it, but I believe it's something to do with the two dimensions closing together or coming together. Because a lot of times that that's been heard, something very significant happened. Go back to Tomic, if y'all remember Tomic Messick, that disappeared in New York. He's in The Hunted of Dave Pilatus' film. It was said by all the hunters in the woods, including his brothers, the day that he disappeared, just out of nowhere, they never found a trace of him. That same slamming like a steel trap door noise was heard in the woods, and he was never seen again.
Wow, that's crazy. Have you ever heard any? I know you probably don't go out in the woods as much as these guys, Stan, or maybe you do. You live in a good area.
Let's just say before June, I didn't go out in the woods for this specific purpose. Since then, I've spent quite a few hours out there.
Yeah.
My theory on the sound is it may be likened to a phase shift. Since we're talking about dimensions, they can exist at the same time, simply out of phase from one another.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
we do it with electricity every day.
Have you heard sounds ever in the woods that you've been in the woods?
Oh yeah, I've heard them from my driveway actually.
Really? Like what?
The first was this really long and very interesting whistle. And I live next to a winery, so at first I thought it might be my neighbors having a little fun with their own brews. But it was a Thursday night, and these guys typically get up before the sun, and this was after midnight. I didn't know what to think of it, so I asked Kevin because I thought it might be more in the demonic realm. And I was assured quickly that no, what I heard was a Sasquatch. To which skeptical me said, no, that's not possible.
Right.
Funny how things change over time. I've been told that the reason I heard those sounds, the reason I found what I found on March 1st of this year is because they've been watching me for a while. So I didn't know that it was peeping Sasquatch.
And you live right in the woods too, don't you, Stan?
Well, yeah, I live about 10 miles outside of anything you'd call a town.
Yeah.
My neighbor's a winery. I've got mountains and a deep lake and BLM surrounding me.
Wow.
That's Bureau of Land Management.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, we've found quite a few structures in these areas. We just released a video last Sunday called Dreamweaver, where we found probably a 70-foot tree that was woven between other trees to where the tree that's horizontal literally bends around each one of the trees.
Wow.
And I'm still trying to figure out how that could happen naturally.
I don't think that's possible.
Well, we thought it was rather interesting. And that's the thing. Can't prove anything that we find is actually them because we didn't see it being built. But you got to kind of wonder. And if it were college kids doing pranks on the side of a mountain in a national forest, you'd think it would be all over Instagram and Facebook. They'd want credit for this.
Yeah.
Right.
Say, Ron, everybody keeps asking about whether you have ever experienced being frozen, kind of paralyzed or stuck to the ground.
Yes. Yes. Warren Johnson and I walked up where one of these things, we knew it was inside the shelter. This thing was mouthing off out there, and we thought, we was getting kind of loose with it then. And we figured they're not going to eat us or carry us away or nothing. They're not going to attack us. So let's go out there, maybe we'll see it run away. Bright moonlit night. We both jumped out of the shelter door and started walking up towards that tree where it had to be. It's probably 30 feet away from the shelter. And we got just a few feet of that tree, and we both just got froze at the same time. I mean, it's like you're
both
paralyzed.
of you did. Both of
Both
you
at the same
did.
time, without talking to each other. It happened. And we just couldn't, you can't move. I related my book to like a force field in Star Trek or something. You don't know what to think about it. It had to be one other time up there in the woods, but where I wasn't thinking about Bigfoot at all. When I was walking along, and all of a sudden, it's where your hair stands off the back of your neck, and you're just, all of a sudden I'm frozen. I'm looking around trying to figure out what's causing this, and I couldn't find any source of it anywhere, but all it went away just about as fast as it came. Now, the night Warren and I walked up to that tree, we couldn't go forward anymore. We just could not walk forward. And he looked at me and said, I don't know about you. We're probably 10 feet apart. He says, I got to go back. He said, I can't walk forward anymore. I said, I can't either. Went back to the shelter, got inside, and this thing started mouthing off again like it was having fun with us or something. So we talk about them toying with us. They do toy with you because they got abilities that affect us, and we just, a lot of us don't know how to handle that stuff. But nothing surprises me anymore. That's why I don't mind getting in the woods with Dogman, with Darrell and Martin or anything like that, because it's exciting, and something might happen. It makes us a little bit more understanding.
Okay, well, let's stop right there and talk about Dogman for a bit. Stan, what do you think they are? Do you think they're like, is it even plausible to you?
I don't know.
Just don't know. That's fine.
There's a lot of reports. I've seen a few YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I've received information. They're just kind of like a grumpier Bigfoot.
Okay.
I don't know though. The canine teeth would probably make me a little nervous.
Yeah, it's different. So Darrell and Ron, I think Darrell, you've actually seen one of these things, haven't you?
I've seen 4 completely, and I mean complete Dogman. The entire Dogman, it's except for the feet part on the one that Martin
Wow.
Rose and I did the documentary on. And I've seen numerous others in the trees and bushes, just parts of them. So yeah, I think that they're not anything like a Bigfoot at all. The first one I seen was in Tazewell County, Virginia, in 2021, excuse me, and that looked like a massive German Shepherd, about 3 times the size of a black German Shepherd. When it ran across the field, it galloped like a horse. It was such a strange run, more like a gallop. And when it got to the edge of the field, it stood up on 2 legs and put one leg over a barbed wire fence and walked into the woods. The other ones I've seen were different looking. The one that Martin Groves and I seen in the documentary we done with Small Town Monsters in the LBL, same area that Ron goes with us at there. That one was like nothing I've ever seen. It went from a red-colored bluish mist into a creature on the ground staring right at me in the window of the Martin Groves truck. I was on the pasture side. He was driving. We were in a very remote area, on an old gravel road going into the area where he had his encounter on. We were there because it was the 29th anniversary of his encounter. And that one was completely different than any of the other. It had the head about the size of half our windshield. It had mane around its neck like a lion, and clear, deep eyes, and it had kind of a grimace on its face. Very strange creature. Never seen anything like it since.
Okay, so for you, they're a million times for sure they're real. I've interviewed many witnesses of Dogman, and I certainly it's always surprising because I've talked to some people that have had many observations of them, especially people who own property. You know,
I get messages pretty regular of people who have them all around their property.
Yeah.
Actually, Jennifer Appleton in my group, she has them all over her property. Beth Collinsworth also, both of them in Tennessee. A couple other people out in Texas I know real close have them regularly. They seem to be a lot more common than they used to be, or maybe they were always here and people just didn't talk about them. I don't know. But,
yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
So Dogman is something that, is it just like Bigfoot, Ron? Do you put them in the same category? Dogman and Bigfoot?
I wouldn't. No, I think the whole planet's a hybridization program. There's so many hybrids out here. We don't know what's coming here and what's doing what kind of aliens messing with the genome of what species. So I think a lot of that's going on. It has for ages, and if they can create a Bigfoot, all Bigfoots aren't the same. I mean, I just don't believe that at all. I've been all over the world now with this subject matter, and they just report differently. And what they are, we don't know. We're all looking for that, but they can be different, and some can be aggressive, and some can be not aggressive. I think we're lucky up there in the Sierras. They were not aggressive, even though they sounded that way sometimes. They never hurt us, and
we all seem to walk away, right? We're all here. We're all safe.
That's right. Yeah. I still get the salt and pepper off my shoulder, but other than that, it's okay. Darrell and I, we got some stuff going on. We're going to get back into the Line Between the Lakes this next year, I think. And also, we got a podcast you mentioned to start with.
Yeah.
We aired again this Monday. We had well over 1 million views, just the first 1 or 2. So anyway, we've got another one coming up tomorrow night, actually. So,
now, is
Monday
that
night.
called? Is that this? Is it? I have it written down here. It's called Two Real Cryptid Legends Podcast.
That's it.
Correct?
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's it.
Now,
Yeah.
I have a link, and then Jeff will
You there?
put up a link. We'll
Yeah,
put
we
it
got a
on-
real good. We got a
Hello.
real good show tomorrow night. We're
Yep.
very honored because Melba doesn't do very many interviews. She's I think, been invited about 300 times, and we're very blessed. Happen to know her and Robin Haynes pretty well, and they're coming on our show, and it's going to be just a great show. We hope.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I can't hear anything.
Oh,
Can you hear us, Ron?
Yep.
Yeah, we hear
Guess I
you,
shouldn't try
but
to
if you
push
can't
our
hear us,
program there.
We hear you.
Can you hear
We
me?
hear you, brother.
Somebody wave their hand if you can.
We can hear you.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
send them
You
a
can hear
text
me.
here.
I just can't hear you. So
well, that's a
we've
problem,
got,
Jeff.
We've got
Cryptid
Melba
Paradox,
Ketchum and
LBL.
Robin Haynes on tomorrow night. It ought to be a good show.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Does.
Jeff, can you text Ron and
Yep, I just did. I
Tell him to
think,
reboot.
I think
Yeah,
he's rebooting there now.
yeah.
Ron and I have also got, we've got an adventure coming in sometime around February. He and Martin Groves and our good friend Mike Smith from Kentucky that did the documentary with us with Small Town Monsters, and Ethan Oates, who put this thing together when he contacted me 3 or 4 months ago. We're going into an area that he's disclosed that has all kinds of creatures, stuff like I've never seen, and even pyramids and structures. And all 5 of us will be going into there with a team to kind of hopefully be able to get in there safely and get film and see this area and these creatures. That's coming up this year and be like nothing that none of us have ever done. I've never seen some of these creatures that I'm seeing pictures of. So it's a little alarming at the same time, and hopefully we can get in there and do what we're wanting to do and get out safely.
All right. Somebody has to repeat the name of the show. It's called
2 Real Cryptid Legends.
Yep, 2 Real Cryptid Legends.
That was Ron's name that he named the show, and I was happy with him naming the show. So real honored to be there with him and him hosting with me. So
And
we
you
have a
do-
real good. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Doug.
Do you have an exact like day of the week you do those?
We do those every other Monday. We're on United Public Radio Network. Michelle DeRochers is our moderator and our manager. And
Okay.
we're every other Monday, 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So, a couple more questions here. Do you guys believe in like the subspecies of like there's more than one species of Bigfoot, or do you think they're all pretty much the same?
Oh, no, there's lots of different types.
Genetic diversity.
My
Yeah.
opinion, I believe that I've seen at least 4 different types, maybe 5. The first one I've seen, I've never seen another one like that, and I hope I never do. That was what's called in the southern area that it lives is called a wood booger, and it's the meanest, nastiest looking one I've ever seen. So, and then there's other ones, the ones that I befriended on the river in Tennessee for a little less than 5 years and visited on a regular basis. They look more like what I call the number 3 or 4 by what they describe the top 10 Bigfoot groups. There may be 20 Bigfoot groups. I have no idea, but by that particular book, they look like more like the Patterson Gimlin type, that type. And I've seen other ones. I'm not sure how many different types there are, but like I said, I believe 4 to 5 different is what I've seen.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Ron? What are your thoughts?
I'm not sure you can hear us.
Oh, he's definitely muted. Ron,
Yeah, your mic is muted.
at the very bottom. There's a little microphone.
There we
button.
go.
There, how's that?
Yeah, we
there
hear
we go.
you.
There we
We
got
got
you.
you, brother.
No, I think there's different ones. I've been, like I mentioned, around the world with this stuff, and I've been in Peru, and I found out that so I just seen a sarcophagus opened up about the Queen Puabi. She had elongated skull, and that's the same ones I've seen in Peru and Bolivia when I was down there, which takes us way back into genetic manipulation, and I just think a lot of that's been done on this planet. We tend to live in a bubble ourselves, thinking that this is all there is, and we think we're the smartest things on this planet, but we're not. We're just humans and very special, but we're here, but we're not the smartest things.
So,
And,
so you do think that Bigfoot's been genetically modified? That we
yeah,
have
but I
kind
also,
of your,
yes. However, Doug, I think that a lot of them have crossbred with indigenous people. A lot of them have become more human-like than others.
okay.
And I just think that's the Patterson film, the track I've seen there. Bob gave me a track. I just believe, because our tracks are different. They're very splayed, very much, a lot bigger, and hard to tell a right foot from a left foot, where the Gimlin track is definite right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. And there are a lot of arch in there. And I just think there are a lot of, according to indigenous people, a lot of Native American lore goes back and said they were taking their women. And that means they would have to have 23 pairs of chromosomes, which means they could inbreed, which also falls right into my theory about them being part human. I think something created us, something created them, and we're not all evolved like evolution says. We're just it's different. A whole lot of that stuff missing. Our history books have got to be rewritten one of these days, and who knows who will be part of it. But
absolutely agree
just
with that.
100%.
it's just a lot of stuff has happened in the past that we gotta get in tune with and understand, because I just think a lot of genetic manipulation has gone on. There's a lot of hybridization has gone on. A lot of species here have been are hybrids, including us. We're hybrids, and just there's no accounting for what gives us our abilities, which we have, by the way. That's recessed in us. We haven't learned how to move into them yet, but we should. That will change our vibration. That's the whole point of this whole earthly trip we have, is to get our vibration higher, so we can get out of this third density. Otherwise, you're never going to get out of it. You got to repeat if you don't learn something. So we're here to learn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's got to be our main goal. Do you think the government pretty much, if they've captured aliens and they've communicated with them, do you think they know most of the answers to this? Or do you think?
Well, I don't think they know. No, I don't think they know most of them. Excuse me if I interrupt you, Doug, but I don't think they do. I think they know that something exists, but again, if they can't explain it, they're not gonna say anything about it. They're gonna make fun of it or hide it some way. They have to be able to explain it to people, or they won't acknowledge it. And they can't explain Bigfoot. They can't explain the Dogman. They can't explain it. That's why they hid UFOs, because now they have to talk about it, because people are seeing them all over. They're going to have to talk about this other thing, Bigfoot, Dogman, all that stuff, because people are seeing them all over nowadays. And you can't convince some of these people it's a figment of their imagination, because no, you try to tell Martin Groves he didn't see one face to face. Martin Groves, I mean, he's a retired deputy, 30 years. He's our buddy, our friend, our brother, all that stuff. But he is serious. I know when he says he saw one face to face and starts pretty much tearing up, and I mean, deputy served for 30 years. He did see something, and it's enough to turn you off, one or the other. But they're out there. Biggest thing again is learning to control your fear. I know it's hard to say. It's easy to say, but it's hard to do. But learn who you are as a human, and you won't fear anything, because no matter what happens to you, you're gonna be okay. And that's easier said than done too.
I have a big theory. Go ahead, Ron. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna. We go in the land between the lakes again. We're gonna take plenty of salt and pepper. I'm riding a horse next time, though, Darrell. So if they get hungry, they're gonna eat the horse instead of me.
Yeah.
Well, let's okay. Well, you guys mentioned you think Darrell said it. You said it, that you think there's more of these things. I agree with that statement. I think there's a lot more sightings. That they've got to be more of them, because, well, if you just go by natural history, we have far more food for them now. There's so many deer, just the deer alone all over the country.
You know, the funny thing, Doug, I think the thing that got my attention about Land Between the Lakes, it hadn't been but 4 or 5 years ago, there were no wild hogs in the LBL, Land Between the Lakes. Now there's so many wild hogs there, it's unreal. So they didn't turn those wild hogs there for no reason at all. So there's a lot of creatures feeding on those creatures. So
Everybody
also,
loves bacon.
that's exactly right. And those things have just taken over the area. And, you know, it's I have a real theory on the court. I 100% know the government knows they're there. There's no doubt in my mind about that. When you've got the industry called the national parks, of course, the LBL is run by the National Forestry Service, but when you have an industry called the national parks that takes in 2.8 billion, that's with a B, a year in tourist revenue, they're not going to tell someone, all these tourists, well, there's some kind of 8 or 9 foot creature might be running through the woods and might eat you or scare you to death, and you know that wouldn't do very much for the tourism and the tourist dollars. So that's a big reason that they'll never tell us. And on top of the fact of all the other things that are in the forest that are hard to believe, I've seen things in the LBL that I don't even understand. So there's creatures out there that I haven't heard of. Matter of fact, Ron and I were together there a few years ago, and we seen a creature on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere in a place called the Trace that looked like a grizzly bear, but it had the head of an anteater. So what is that? I've never seen that before.
So okay, back up the truck. You saw you saw a bear with like an anteater head.
We've seen a creature that was about the size of a grizzly bear sitting on the side of an area we call the Trace, the main road that runs through the LBL.
Wow.
And Martin Groves locked up the car, the brakes to go back up and look at it, and we did back up and it ran off by the time we got in a position to be able to get a picture of it. And it was about the size of a bear, but it had the head of like an anteater or something. So I don't know what it was. I've never seen anything like that. And there's a lot of strange things in the wilderness out there that you don't hear about. And you know, people may think it's crazy, but it's nothing but the truth. Are out there. We also seen what we call a crawler that same trip. 3 of us seen that. And
well, don't just say that. You got to tell. You can't just tease us that way. Darrell.
A humanoid-looking creature that I was walking in the woods in the dark with a bright flashlight, and Martin Groves and Martin Nummy were behind me on a trail in an area that's real active, and I heard this clicking noise, like a click. I didn't know what it was, and I shined a light in the area, and I caught this creature running across through the woods, and it looked like a humanoid. It was a human-looking creature on all fours, real thin, real skinny, kind of a palish gray color, and it ran up a tree. And we all 3 seen it and shined a flashlight on it and tried our best to get a picture of it. And it ran up a real tall tree, and every time we would shine a light, it would go to the other side. And then we heard it clicking up behind me, and like it was communicating with this thing. Something else was clicking up there back to it. It was communicating. So I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before. So my point is, there's a lot of things out there that it's hard to believe that this kind of stuff exists, but it does.
And we had that clicking noise up at our scare camp one night. And we started out the stove area. We was inside the shelter, 3 of us, and it started getting closer and closer to the shelter. We thought, what's coming in here? What kind of critter is it? All of a sudden, it's inside the shelter, even though the door was closed. And we shined a light, and it stopped. So we shined a light, and then kept clicking right next to it, and you couldn't see it. You shine a light, and it's gone. And I write about that in my book too. That's one of the anomalies we had going on with us up there. So what's the clicking? I don't know, but it happens. Yeah.
Does the clicking sound electrical?
No,
like Tesla coils snapping.
No, it sounds like a. Have you ever seen those clickers you had when you were a kid?
I had those when I was a kid. Yeah,
that's what it sounded. That's
clickers.
Exactly what it sounded like.
Really?
It would click 3 or 4 times, and then something way up behind us would do the same thing back to it. It was very strange.
kind of a metallic metal kind of a click?
No, it didn't sound like that, but it just sounded like those old clickers, the click, 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 the way
Well,
they
damn it, Darrell. You're supposed to learn how to imitate these things when you...
You know, I tell you what, about the only imitation I could give you with that was Get Back to the Truck, and that's what we did. So I didn't.
Darrell, did the clicking have a pattern?
Darrell, that's Darrell's favorite line. Get back to the truck, boys.
Well, I wanted to stay a little longer than they did. They wanted me to get back to the truck. They were kind of afraid there were some other ones coming to surround us because they were clicking back. So it was very strange.
Excuse me, I gotta go lock my doors now. You got me all willied out. Ugh, jeez, that's spooky.
I think these things have to have a lot of energy. That's why the batteries go dead. That's why they're sighted along power lines a lot. I think something to do with energy. That's a theory that I've got. That's why our batteries get drained a lot. That's why they get seen around power lines and transformers. And it takes, if you think about, that's the kind of a theory about how UFOs are able to move so fast and turn on a dime, going 13,000 miles an hour or something. And that's because the energy, they have to have energy to form this bubble around their unit, around who they are. And I just seen a documentary on that going on actually today. Yeah, and I got to look at that some more, because if these things can get enough energy, they can maybe do a lot more. And anyway, there you go. Who's clicking?
So, Stan, you're out in the woods alone. If you're out in the woods alone, you see one of these white rake-looking humanoid little skinny creatures. What are you doing? Are you running? Or are you just looking for it like Darrell did?
Depends on what it does.
I was asking Stan whether he
It
runs
depends
or
on what
he
it
just...
does. Generally, when I'm in the woods, I carry a wireless hole puncher.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, we know what those are. Wireless hole puncher. That's a new description for a rifle.
That's a good one.
Wireless
Typically, it's a
hole
handgun
puncher.
because if I'm not out hunting, I just have it for protection. I used to think it was keeping me as the apex predator until I found out about our big, tall, hairy friends. And now I'm not so sure we're the apex anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we were a lot more like them until we domesticated ourselves into cities.
That's an interesting theory. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, good.
So do you sleep good at night, Darrell, knowing you've seen some of these things?
You know, I don't think I'll ever get over my very first encounter. That was, if I haven't met the family of non-aggressive forest people I met on the river roughly 7 years later, I probably would have never felt like I do now. But I don't think all these creatures mean us harm. I think they're living their own existence, and you know, we just need to stay out of their way and let them live. So I don't believe that the biggest majority of these creatures, it's just like, well, you know, we're going into their home when we go into the woods or the forest, and you know, it's just like them walking into our living room and having a seat. They wouldn't be invited unless we invited them, and you have to look at it that way and respect them in every way possible.
I totally agree.
So that's my opinion. Ron and I have had this conversation many times, and if you live with fear, like Ron says, and it's hard at times not to be a little fearful or at least be concerned, but you can't be fearful. If you do, these creatures will pick up on it, and they'll play you to the point of where you can't.
Okay, so fear repels them. That explains why I'm afraid to take my garbage out. Completely, it's good. It's good then. I'm glad. You think I'm joking, Ron? I'm not.
Well, that's okay. I would suggest you take your garbage out in the daytime.
I know, but I don't. I always forget.
Yeah, most of that is roll around.
It's like 2 a.m, and I'm going, oh crap, garbage day, and I'm thinking, everybody's asleep for the next 20 miles except me, and I'm gonna go out there, and there's gonna be something weird happen and it scares me to death.
Well, you're probably going to have some
I
neighbors
joke
chime in
about
on you now.
I joke, but I'm not joking.
That's what I was doing when I heard what I heard.
Yeah.
Taking my garbage can out to the street.
Yeah, see, there you go. Okay, I don't want to even. Don't ever say that again, Stan. Ever. Ever.
You know, there's something that Stan said earlier that stuck in my mind, and I kind of wanted to get back to Stan on that. You were talking about the whistle you heard. You don't want to whistle back if you hear that in the night. So,
no, I don't make any sounds. I don't try to imitate calls. I don't do tree knocks. I don't do anything because I have no idea what it means.
Well, it's well known in the native. It's well known in the Native American lore that you never whistle back at night when you hear a whistle. So it's not a very good thing.
Well, I have no idea what I'd be saying, so I don't really want to say something that might be offensive. I don't think I think you're flirting with him. Well, there's that.
You can't say anything offensive. I was telling
maybe being flirting with.
I was telling people they need to wear their pants on.
Yeah, make sure you have your pants on when you take your trash out. So.
Exactly.
Or not.
Especially at 2 o'clock in the morning.
But, you know, the world we live in is amazing. And I've seen enough and experienced enough through the years to know we are definitely not alone. There's definitely creatures and things out there. We have no idea what they are. We don't know where they come from. And so the question I'm going to pose to all of you, though, is let's say a Bigfoot fades in and out. Is it possible that they don't know they're doing that, or they're not controlling it? It's being controlled by.
It's under control.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well,
my
are you
first
joking? Or are
sighting
you serious?
Was basically a cloaked one crossing the road, where I could see the outline of feet, but it looked like the shimmer effect that you see in the desert on hot asphalt from the heat radiating up. Yet we were in a swamp where it was wet and cold. Those conditions didn't exist. And literally it looked like feet shuffling across the road.
Wow.
I was like, okay, did I just see that?
Why didn't you tell me earlier about this?
Well, you didn't ask.
Nice.
Come on, Stan.
Well, I personally believe it's like what Ron has said a lot for a long time, the higher vibration that these creatures has some way relates the total energy into a different transformation, which can make them cloak or even turn into an orb. I've seen lots of orbs. I can't say they're Bigfoot, but I've seen quite a few of them in an area that has a lot of those creatures there.
With a strong enough electromagnetic field, it is definitely possible to bend light.
Yeah. So, okay, when did you see this?
About 3:12 p.m. the Tuesday, the 29th of July.
Gee. Okay, Ron.
3 hours later, I was having a face-to-face staring contest.
With this thing that?
It was as black could be, light absorbing. And he was staring at me from the middle of a Y-shaped tree. Bill, my research partner, literally watched the squirrel fall off of my wheel while I was having an argument with myself. I was thinking, am I actually seeing what I'm seeing, or do I want to see something so bad that my mind is playing tricks on me? So I marked the spot on the ground, stepped away for a few seconds, about 30, went back, stood in the same position, and it was gone. So I started to walk down the road a little bit to change the axis, because maybe I lined up something in the shape of the Y tree like you would on a dovetail gun sight. So I walked down the road a little bit to see, and there was nothing black at all on the hillside. About 50 yards further up the hill was a fallen log from a tree that the Forest Service had cut up, a much larger tree. When I see a black head pop up from behind, and it starts rocking back and forth, like I'm doing right now. At that point, I realized I did see what I thought I saw. And Bill asked me immediately, he goes, "Are you going to freak out? Are you afraid?" I said, "No, I'm more awestruck because I just saw something that everyone tells me doesn't exist. Yet I saw it." The crazy thing is I had my phone in my hand in camera mode and didn't think to try to take a picture. It was just that life-changing moment right then where it's like, okay, I'm seeing this and I'm not hallucinating, and this isn't my imagination. This is really happening.
Yeah. You never even thought of your phone, and that's normal. That's really normal.
I'm still
I agree.
skeptical about everything that we encounter, particularly the structures, since we didn't actually see them build it. So we're making assumptions. But I have to assume that something with hands built this because I see geometry. I get measurements that align to true north. I get 45-degree angles. I get 90-degree angles. I get crosses. I get X's. The weave trees that are completely horizontal to the ground, and I put my phone on it to check the level, and they're perfectly level.
Is this all by your house, Stan?
Yeah, this is within maybe a 15-minute ride from my house, from where I'm sitting right now.
Kind of nuts. If you need time to go lock your doors, go ahead.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, you will if you have one come in your house.
If they were dangerous and wanted to hurt me, I would be a glob of goo on the side of a mountain in the Umpqua National Forest right now.
All right. Next question to all of you guys, and just chime in, whatever.
Nope.
And by the way,
I lost everybody's audio.
No, not again. All right, I'll ask you.
I hear everybody.
Okay, I'm going to ask Ron and Darrell. Have you guys ever had anything? Have you guys ever had anything follow you home?
Yeah, this has been a very interesting summer and fall for me. Yep. This wasn't anything I ever expected to be doing. And I didn't wake up one day and suddenly say, I'm going to make everybody that knows me and all my friends think I've lost my marbles. I know exactly where all 7 of them are. It's happening. It's weird. It's interesting. And I had 2 choices. One, I could run away or I could embrace it. And I thought, well, it's not like I'm doing anything else that's more interesting. And I got to meet Ron and work with Ron. And I got to go to Beachfoot and Oak Ridge and meet a whole lot of people who at the time I didn't know who they were. But now I'm finding out that I've met literally the top crew.
Okay,
the cool kids.
So
awesome.
I got to ask you a couple more questions.
So
did you go
has
to?
Definitely been an interesting adventure.
Did you go to Beachfoot?
Every day brings something new.
I don't think Sam can hear you.
I don't think so.
Just this last week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we went out into the Applegate area in Southwest Oregon, and we found a trackway with over 100 prints, and we cast 21 of them. Later on, we went up, we found structures, and at one structure, I found a print that measures 26 inches by 15 inches. There's photographs on our Facebook site. I put a pack of cigarettes in the middle of it just so you could see how it dwarfed this thing. Every time we've gone out, we find stuff that kind of makes me scratch my head and go, that just doesn't look natural. It looks like it was planned or somebody did this.
Stan, can you
hear me? I don't know it was them for sure because I didn't see it happen. But
Jeff,
some of the logs
Stan.
that we found in configurations, one we call Colossus, weigh several thousand pounds apiece. And there's no evidence of drag marks. There's no root sockets or root balls. And there's no evidence of any heavy machinery ever having been in this part of the forest. So, yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions you can't hear.
Yeah, I don't think you can hear us at all. I just sent him another text.
Yeah, just remove him and then he'll reboot or whatever. Okay, so do you think the government's jamming all of our phones? It's kind of weird. It's like happened to everybody here.
You asked if they could follow us home.
Yes. Have you? No. It's not what I asked you. I asked you, have you ever had a weird Like you were out on an expedition, you come home, and there's something weird going on at home that night, or something odd, almost like a haunting. Anything?
Yes.
I have.
I'm back.
Can you hear us
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Hang on. Stand by, Stan. Ron?
Yes. The clicking
Can you-
sound I talked about earlier, I heard that
Yeah.
same thing out in my field when I was irrigating down in my Valley Ranch down in California.
Okay.
And actually, Bill McDowell's had the same thing. It's not I thought you said that they follow you home. They don't follow you home. Energy can be anywhere, and I think their energy can be where you're at any time they want to be.
But if you had
yeah, things
something
have happened.
in your Ron, I think you misunderstood me. Did you have anything in your home, inside, in your bedroom, in your hallway?
Well, not that I
in your
know
bath-
of. Not that I know of. I've
Okay.
had things beat on my home, my
Oh, you
ranch
have?
home, when there's no one around. Yeah, I go to the door
Uh,
thinking nobody's around.
All right. See,
But no, I've heard people talk about how they witness them inside their home. Some very, very credible people that have that happen, where they've seen these things physically outside, but they've also had them inside their house. So
don't say
well, they can go through walls. You can go
don't
through
say
walls.
that. Ron, be quiet.
They can.
Anyway.
I had one follow me home. Yes.
Yeah. Well, tell us the story. What happened?
2020. We were in an area researching in Cheatham County, Tennessee, and we had a Bigfoot family there. We were gifting due to a friend of ours who was his girlfriend, and he were scared to death because these creatures were looking in their windows at night. And we went down to help them out, and after 3 or 4 months there, we had a night where we had all these orbs come down and just death. Actually, they were just buzzing all around us. They were about the size of a softball the second week, and there was about 6 or 7 of them just flying around us. The week before that, we had 2 large ones come down from somewhere, and they were about 2 foot off the ground. 2 large red orbs about the size of beach balls, reddish orange, pulsating. And we got kind of weirded out and quit going down there for a while. And roughly a week later, at 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, something started beating on my home, roughly 30 miles from there, on my farm, and banging on the wall in the middle of the night. And I went outside several times and didn't see anything. And this went on got to the point where I'd call my close friend Scott Carpenter, and the late great Scott Carpenter, and he had told me that the same thing. I knew that he had been through that, and he told me to rebuke them. And I did everything I could to get rid of these creatures. They scared my horses to death in my field. The horses were going crazy. I'd go down there at 2 o'clock in the morning with my rifle in the middle of the night and make sure they were okay. And I had to let them out of the barn and the stable, and they would stay closer to the driveway where the street light was. And this went on for quite a while, to the point that it got pretty alarming, and these creatures wouldn't start banging on my house on the right side and then the left side, and for no reason at all. We'd never done anything to these creatures that I'm aware of, and this went on for about 2.5 months. So I got to the point where I was armed with a gun. I knew it was going to start happening every night, and I'd sit up all night long. I was living by myself in my home at that time. Thank goodness that I was. And I called Scott Carpenter, and he told me to rebuke them, and they would leave me alone. And I did rebuke them. He told me to go all 4 corners of my home and all 4 corners of my property and say that in the name of Jesus Christ, I pronounce you to leave me and my family and animals alone and leave my farm. And I did that. And that same night, I was waiting in the hallway for it to start again, armed, thinking they're going to try to break in the house, and it never happened again.
Really?
Really?
Interesting.
Wow.
Lewis Johnson one time up at the Sierra camp, where he was bothering us. He's up there wanting to go hunting. That's all Lewis wanted to do, is hunt. And these things kept messing with us, and he said, he just, don't shut up, go away, and they did. We didn't know if it had anything to do with it or not, but they did leave after he said that. So it's amazing. I think they're not supposed to interfere with us. I think we got our experiences to respond to, and they're not supposed to interfere with it, but they do. And like I say, some of them are more human-like than others. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. Darrell, go ahead.
No, you're fine, Ron. I was pretty much through with that. I was just saying that's what happened. I broke it down in a quicker. There's a lot more detail to it than that, but that's what happened. And I don't have any idea why they come and banged on the side of my house, but they did, and they did some damage to my property. They had a lot of barn cats at that time that lived in my barn. They didn't belong to me. They just lived there, and they killed all of them. Scared my horses so bad they never did go back into the stall or the barn again. They stayed next to the street light, next to the light, and had one horse that was super. You just couldn't ride him. I was the only one that could do anything with him, and that was the first time I'd ever seen his hair became braided. It was braided, and all of his mane was braided. And I couldn't figure out how that could happen because nobody could get close to him.
The witch's knots.
I didn't know what that was at that time, but that's what it was. And I never could figure out how that happened.
Okay, can you explain how complex the braiding or whatever it was?
It was crisscrossed and tied in a different way at the very bottom. 3 different strands on the mane, but behind his head, going down to his back. It was very different. I've never seen quite that type braiding before, and it was very strange that anything could get close enough to that horse. He was a full stud, and I could ride him, but nobody else could. But he didn't let anybody get close to him. And the farrier come out to do his feet every month or two. We'd have to put a twitch on him to even do that. So he was pretty wild. He was one of those type horses that you just couldn't ride.
Crazy. I've never heard that story.
Sometimes when we come back from walking up there, and the horses, I kept tied up and come back, there's some Bigfoot tracks next to our horses. And people ask me, did they ever see their horses' mane braided? And I always thought the horse got caught in a twig or something, just twisted around, because I never looked for that. But it's interesting if that was what was happening. I don't know, because they do have an interest in our animals. They did have.
That's exactly what I was hoping would have happened, Ron. I kept looking at it when I was next to him, and the way it was tied at the bottom, it wasn't by a stick or anything you got hung up in. It was twisted in a way and kind of flared out at the bottom with like a knot in it that was tied. And I don't know of anything that got close to that horse like that. I do think these creatures, like you were talking about earlier, I know I've been zapped personally twice by Bigfoot, once by a dog man, or infrasound, whatever people want to call it. I believe it's a type of radiation. But I think they have some way to freeze you like they did, like Ron was talking about. And
did you experience, let me interrupt you, did you experience kind of unfounded fear too along with the zapping? Was it fear and kind of a paralysis? Can you be more descriptive?
I think I don't know that it was fear. I think it was more concern, because the first time I got zapped was by Bigfoot in Cheatham County, Tennessee, pretty much in the same area that I was talking about where all this started happening and my house being banged on. That area there, my legs, it's like your legs went to sleep, like when you have at a certain angle and your legs go to sleep, you can't move them. That was the way I felt with my legs, and my stomach was upset. I felt very sick, and I had a real bad headache on both times with a Bigfoot. And the dog man that Mark Groves and I seen the LBL was completely different. It was more of a headache and an upper chest feeling. But yeah, it was a very strange feeling. That was about 3 weeks before that happened in my home that I was zapped, and it was hard to get myself back oriented. And I remembered Martin Groves had told me, if that ever happens to you, start saying a prayer or the Lord's shepherd, the Lord's prayer, and And I did that, and it did work, and I started coming back with my senses. These things weren't trying to attack us, but it was just a weird feeling that you were out of, you had no way to control yourself. You couldn't get up and run if you had to. You couldn't get up and defend yourself. And it was a very strange feeling that first time. All 3 times were strange, but the first time was very different.
Crazy. Stan, have you ever had, slaps or bangs in your home?
While I was working on Ron's audiobook, there was tapping on my walls.
Ugh.
Wow.
And how loud?
Not really super loud. I just acknowledged their presence, that they were there, and said, thanks, guys. I'm kind of working on this, and it's for them, too. I mean, the more people that learn about them, the less people that will fear them. Since fear is literally based on lack of knowledge or understanding of something.
Right.
Good thing to say. I love that, Stan. Thank you.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I brought
like
a little something to show. This is for Monday. It's got the mid-tarsal break.
Ooh.
Toe slip. And then I got a double print.
That's deep, too.
And it was a trackway with over 100 prints, and we believe it was 3 different juveniles based on the track sizes.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was looking at some of your photos, and you actually have a lot of stick structures. I don't know if you had any of that stuff you want to share, Jeff.
No, I don't have. All I have is I've got a really good audio clip from Ron here. We can play that where you want.
Let's do that. So explain. Can you set this up, Ron? The audio clip we're going to play.
What's it say on it there, Jeff? Is it two of them or disagreement? What's it say?
You sent me one. Let's see here. I don't remember what it was called.
I was kind of in a hurry when I did. I'm not sure.
Why did Ron send you that one?
It says this one. It says 05 rapid fire sequence.
Okay. Is that dog barking on my end or somewhere else?
Not on mine.
Not me.
Not the CD.
That would be really.
Okay.
That would be really weird.
I'll go and play it. I think it's probably two of them disagreeing with each other.
What if none of us? Ron, I'm sorry. There's a delay. What if none of us owned a dog? What if none of us owned a dog?
Not coming from me.
Well, my daughter owns a dog, so it must be our dog here. I'm in my daughter's house.
Okay. All right, so this is.
It was right to play it, Jeff. I think it's 2 of them arguing, or maybe.
Okay, here we go. Wow. That had to be terrifying.
That was right outside our shelter. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that had to be terrifying.
That's crazy. I just thought for a minute it was Stan when he got his tax bill this year.
No.
Actually, according to the linguists, It was a male and a female
like
That's
arguing.
Ron. That's absolutely insane. I could listen to that over and over and over and over.
It's crazy.
It's just so. There's so many highs and lows and strangeness in it.
Yeah, what we don't know is the limit or how high they can go with their vocal amplitude. Not amplitude, but the range.
They may get into the ultrasound, maybe.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, in fact, Dr. Curlin's graph shows where they went way above our range in some of the sounds.
And below probably.
And below also, and in between. They can mimic anything according to what we're seeing from his report. They can make any kind of sound they want. That's why you got to. Oh, I'm running out of juice here myself.
Somebody had mentioned it sounded like was it Bobcat? God, Bobcat Goldthwait's entire stand-up act. That was just, it's so insane. I just wish there was something more we could do, in the modern times, because you've had not Kurt Nelson,
Scott Nelson.
Scott Nelson. We couldn't think of his first name. And I know Scott. He's a brilliant guy. I mean, Scott is so beyond brilliant. And what he did with your audio is absolutely incredible. But I just wished there was something new, like maybe even AI at some point can do something.
That's been brought up before. Let me make a comment on that. AI only knows what we have out there for it to know.
Right.
It knows all the languages.
Good point.
However, this is an unknown language. Like Scott says, I brought this up to Scott. He got mad. He said, how can anyone think that AI could determine this? Because it's a language of its own that's not out there in the public. It's not like it's Spanish or Persian or anything like that. So until it's known, AI won't know it unless AI advances on into better cognizance or sort of into
I'd like to see AI do a spectral analysis so we can see.
Yeah, it could maybe still aid in pitch changes, and I mean it may be able to determine this is far too quick for any human to accomplish. I mean there may be something, but I'm hoping that forensics in audio continue to get better, right? Even beyond the spectrograph. Let me put it this way, Ron. I think people will be studying your tapes 50 years from now.
Well, I hope not. They should know more about it between now and then.
I have a
feeling know more about something.
I think they're going to still be studying the Patterson film, and they're going to be studying the.
That's if they haven't gotten to the bottom of it. Yeah. We'll be getting to the bottom of it.
The Patterson film has so much yet to tell us. We've just barely skimmed the surface of what it can tell us. And I think your sounds are the same way. It's even possible someday a future AI, not AI as we know it today, but may be able to decode it even.
That's what I was saying. And once AI gets awareness, which I think it will, like it's going to dominate us.
100%.
It's just so important we know who we are as humans, because what they are is not human, but there's going to be more advanced, way more advanced. They'll have their consciousness involved in a non-biological body. How do you like that one? That's why a lot of aliens are now, I believe. They have a consciousness, but they're not human like we are. They don't have a biological body. That's just some. Never mind. I'm getting tired.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up. Thank you so much, Ron. And next time, I think for Christmas I'm going to send you a phone stand. I know exactly what to get you.
That's what I need. Thank you. That's exactly what I need.
I think that's what you're going to get in the mail. You
wow.
won the contest tonight.
I'm excited now.
I'm not joking. It'll be the cheapest, most plasticky one I can find.
Now you're joking, I hope.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm always joking. Anyhow, Stan, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we got to get you. It just sounds like you got a whole world of stories. And Darrell,
Well, this was
thank
my
you.
first ever podcast, so thank you for being.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Well, you
That's
sure
great.
the hell did better than me or Jeff did. So you got us nailed. Anyhow, I think people really enjoyed hearing from you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks much. Just stand by for one more second here. Stand
Yep,
by.
we will be right
Just
back.
stand by.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Always remember, you don't beat stress by thinking harder, but by slowing your body down first. One way to rid yourself of stress is to take a breath, move, and take up a hobby where you work with your hands and make something real. It pulls your mind out of tomorrow and puts it back where you are in the moment. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
And
We're
we're
back.
all back. Thank you so much again. Darrell, got to get you back on again for a one-on-one. And Ron,
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate both of you.
yeah, we love you, Darrell.
Nice to
You're
meet
awesome.
you, Stan. Nice to meet you, Stan. I would have.
Nice meeting you too, Darrell.
I would have been at Bigfoot with you. Ron and Todd both invited me, but I had some health issues going on at that time, and I couldn't make it. So, anyway, thanks so much for having me, and it's always an honor and pleasure to be here with you. And Ron, I'll see you tomorrow night, brother.
Yeah, and I got
Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow night.
I got one smart ass comment I want to leave you both with, and that is your show, Two Real Cryptid Legends podcast, have the two lowest voices in radio history.
Yeah, you guys got.
Is that right?
Well, they're giving Wolfman Jack a run for his
You
money.
guys are damn near
Doug,
you're both damn
thank-
near supersonic.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate
Oh, thanks,
appreciate all
Ron.
this.
We love you. And
A lot of
I
fun. Yeah.
appreciate everything you do, and thank God that you've been part of the whole Bigfoot mystery, because without you, there'd be a big hole, without your work.
Well, I remember the Monster Quest. I was on Monster Quest with you years and years ago. And
Yeah.
that's when we met. Yeah, you
Yeah,
had that
yeah.
trailer going around with. Yeah.
But we
It
were
was,
both kids.
Yeah.
We
well,
were both children.
we're still kids, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like one.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Stan. We'll talk to you guys both soon. And thanks, Jeff, for all the.
Did you
fun.
want to play that little bonus after?
No, that's for after the show.
Okay, I misunderstood.
It's
All right.
fine.
Well, good night, everyone.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Good
night.
everyone. Have a
Appreciate
good
you
night.
having us.
I guess.
Night.
I call you up in the middle of the night, been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should stop falling, we'll head on home again. Everybody sensation. Radio glow on a cracked flashlight, windows down on a Friday night, waiting all day just to hear that song. Fingers crossed that it wouldn't be long. First slow dance, first wrong kiss, first time learning what heartbreak is. We didn't know much, but we knew the tune, that soundtrack, who we were becoming into. Funny how a melody can still take you back against your will. My generation, your generation, different style, same vibration, same old pilot in every station, same love, same hesitation, different year, same sensation. Music knows us, every generation. Headphones on in a bedroom glow, playlist saying what you can't say out loud. Though midnight drives with nowhere to be, songs feel louder when you're 17. First crush text, first goodbye, song on repeat just to survive. You think nobody's felt this way, but we cried to different songs, different days, same damn way, same damn way. Every beat's just a memory, waiting for you to press play. My generation, your generation, different scores, same education, same dreams chasing validation, same hearts breaking in rotation, different day, same desperation. Music knows us, every generation. There's a song we can't play anymore, still hits hard like it did before. Funerals, weddings, long goodbyes, that one song that still makes you cry. Time moves on, but the truth remains. Every era sings the same refrain. My generation, your generation, different voices, same salvation, same fire, same damn temptation, love and loss in every nation. Turn it up, feel the connection. Music holds us, every generation. Songs may change, the world moves fast, but every note leaves a mark that lasts.